Hello everybody and welcome back to another video here on my channel, and it's been so long since I've done one of these videos and I'm so excited because we're in our new house. I've kind of moved in, I put in my bookcases. So as always, you already know, I'll be drawing prompts from this jar to figure out what books I will be reading for next month. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the prompts. I have missed these prompts, I'm not gonna lie. Being in the camper, not having this, not having all of my books, more so my TBR that's actually on a bookcase that's next to me, down on the bottom. So again, you won't really see those, but it's one of those that it's so exciting to get to pull these every month, and just being without it in a camper and trying to pick what I wanted to read from certain boxes that I had packed was just so different. And sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't as much fun. Prompt number 1 says a next book in a series. That's very ironic because I was thinking about doing a video titling continuing series I'm in the middle of, so I think I have the perfect book for this prompt. I do believe this was on one of the TBRs when we were in the camper, and I just never got around to it because we were a little busy, especially with traveling, and I really wanted to get to it because I had just read the first book in the series and I'm so excited to get into this. This is A Torch Against the Night, book number 2 in the Ember and the Ashes series. I loved An Ember and the Ashes. I do believe it might have been my first 5-star of this year, but it was a 5-star read and I was so excited that I really wanted to hop into this next book. And I only have this next book. I still have to get the next, I think, 2 books because I think it's a 4-book series, but I have been thinking about this book. So I'm going to put it back on a TBR even if we had it a couple months ago so that I can officially get around to it because I already wanted to do a video and probably include this book anyways. Might as well put it on my TBR so I can also cross it off of that as well. Going for prompt number 2. I don't even remember all the prompts that I put in here. I feel like it's been so long. We're gonna take this one, even though all of these are opening. I guess we're gonna take this one that's open, put that one back. I'll kind of close it a little bit more. All right, this one's a little longer. A book with green on the cover or on the spine. Ooh, I see one that would be good, a good potential that I just picked up too, so it has like that, not hype, but I still have that feeling. I have 2 books that I could potentially read, or like the next book in a series. There are, I think, 2 other books that I could add to this list, but they're like book 3 or 4 in a series and I haven't read book 2 yet, so we can't put those on. I do have a book number 5 actually in a series, and this is Percy Jackson and the Olympians, and this one is called The Last Olympian. I've been kind of trying to finish this series. I think I started it this year, if not at the end of last year. I would love to finish it, I'm not gonna lie. I only have 2 books left in this series, I do believe. Yeah, just 2 books left in the series, but I don't know if I really want to get to this just yet. And then, like I said, I had one that I picked up. It is both green on the spine and also on the cover, and it is Just the Nicest Couple. I just picked up from Ollie's a 3-book set from her that has Local Woman Missing, She's Not Sorry, and then this book as well. So this is kind of like high up there because it's a thriller. I've never read, I don't think, a book from her, unless if Gone Girl or Good Girl was from her, then I think I've read that book. But I'm not positive because it was many years, like 2019 type years ago, so I don't know which one I'd rather have. This one would probably be an audiobook because I kind of have read these as a physical form, but I usually just turn on the audiobook because I know I can get my hands on them, and then I end up doing stuff like cleaning the house. I think the first time I was shoveling our long driveway that we had, and then the other times I was mowing, so I turned on the audiobook because it was about half the book that I would listen to. This one's a little bit chunkier than the other books, but it's still, I think, relatively short. Towards the, well, never mind, it's got a lot of extra stuff at the end. It's around 400 pages, like 380 pages. And then this book as well, I think is fairly short, about just over 300 pages. Really, it just comes down to, do I want to try and almost finish this, or do I want to start a new book by potentially a new author that's also a thriller and could have my attention? I haven't read thrillers in a little bit. I do have one on my July TBR that I still want to get to, but otherwise I don't think I've read a thriller in a little bit. So maybe we'll just go with Just the Nicest Couple. Who knows, we might be able to put Percy Jackson on this list as well. Choosing for prompt number 3. I forgot, I'm not supposed to shake these because they all just get stuck together. It's okay, I'll never learn. I'll do it every single video. Cool, this one just says sci-fi. I could continue a series. Hold on one moment. I want to know if this is just fantasy or if this is also sci-fi. Because if this is sci-fi, I'm probably going to do this book because I have been eyeing it. I want to finish this series. I only have 2 books left in the series. It's been a while since I read it. I think it's dystopian and fantasy. Oh, dang it. It does say sci-fi on it. It's the very last one. So it's a stretch, but it is considered a sci-fi. Oh, I'd rather finish out of the, I'll show you my 2 options real quick, the ones at least that I wanted. The one book that I just looked up is the 3rd book in the Red Queen series. I've read Red Queen and Glass Sword. This is called King's Cage, and I've been so excited to hop back into the series. I really want to finish it because I do believe it's just the 4 books, or I have this book and then the last one. So I do want to hop into this, and this is like, I feel like out of these 2, I'm gonna pick this one, to be honest. And then we do have the 3rd book in Ender's Saga. This is Children of the Mind. Wait, that's not right. I'm pretty sure Xenocide might be next. Yeah, I think Xenocide's next. Either way, I'm gonna hold this up because I don't think I'm gonna go with this, so I gotta put it back anyways. But I just read book number 2 in the camper, like when we first moved, and I liked it, but it was just so much slower. It was a lot of theology, and it just wasn't what Ender's Game book 1 was. So I kind of got a little discouraged a little bit, but I still want to go into this because I heard that the next books go kind of back to the first book, like not maybe as much, but they get more sci-fi because there's a new war going on, there's more things going on, so I feel like it's gonna be more high stakes. But I think I'm just gonna go with King's Cage because I'm really interested in reading this book and finishing this one. Choosing for prompt number 4, we'll just do 5 books. I feel like that's a good one. Oh no, a reread. Okay, you know what, I've never really done a reread before, and I don't know what reread I would really like to do. There have been a couple that have been on my mind though. If you did not know, the bookshelves behind me are the books that I have read, minus some Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys, and then also we have some older books on the shelf that I haven't put over here because I'm kind of waiting for my husband to build me a half a shelf over there, and then maybe an L shape or 2 half shelves, and then maybe a full shelf here so we can maybe get rid of this other shelf. I know of one book in particular over on this shelf that I might reread because I've been thinking so much about this series again because I just want to get further into it, and I was thinking next year I might make it a challenge to read one of the books from the series per month because there's 100 books in it. I guess I could look through here and see what other books. These 3 books, I have no clue which one I really want because I've been thinking about all 3 of these rereading, but more so the first one I'm going to hold up. So the first one is just Nancy Drew, number 1, The Secret of the Old Clock. Like I said, there's 100 books of these for the original. I think there's like 60 for the actual series, but there's so many added on and I have so many books. So I was thinking about rereading all these, getting to the point where I stopped reading because I don't know what actual number I left off on as a kid, and then going through, since I have all of them, keep collecting them, and I love this edition. I want to read only these and collect all these. So this is very high up there because I want to do it anyways. There is a 5-star read that I really want to re-tackle, and this is The Legend of Story County. This book was so good. It's Christian, it's historical fiction. There's a lot of different kind of genres, but for the most part you're following this guy who technically we're like a reporter. He goes up to this guy who is like a really old man in this town, in this county, and he gets his story of him as he was a slave, and then he ends up kind of like escaping, and some of the adventures, like this cover is one of my favorites, and this cover is just everything that I was picturing in my head. So I kind of want to reread it, see if I absolutely love it. It still has like the Western element to it that I love. This scene inside the cave that's right next to the train, I don't know if you can see it, but him hiding while these 2 people were talking underneath him was so good. I don't know why, that's like one of the biggest ones that sticks in my head. So this is really high up there too. And then one that I've been thinking about a lot because of Vietnam, and just this is just such a good book. It's called A Pink Mist by John A. Burkall, and I love this book. This was again a 5-star read for me, and I just have been kind of thinking about jumping back in. Right now I'm reading a book that's a memoir about a father who was in World War II, and he was technically at Pearl Harbor right after it was bombed, but he always said he wasn't really in the war. Like, he did other things. He was more computer side, communications more than anything else, more radio side, I guess, technically, not computer. But this book in particular I really loved, and there is pictures at the end, and it just tells a story of this guy during the Vietnam War, kind of what he flew and how he escaped some things, how he lost some of his men and friends, but like it was just so good, and you understand the meaning. Well, kinda, like you kind of learn what a pink mist is to a point, but it's not a dead giveaway to the title at the same time. The bad part is if I have a reread and I don't get to it, it's not that big of a deal, but like I also would love to prioritize one of these. I don't know. I think for the sake, even though I really want to read both of these again, I'm gonna do The Secret of the Old Clock just because I was trying to eventually, like I said, maybe next year, get into reading this like one book every single month. I even joined on Fable. They have one, which maybe I can link it if you're curious, but there is a book club where every month they pick a new Nancy Drew one, and we're in July, so they're on the 7th book. Actually, we're getting ready for August, so we're on the 8th book, and it's like I could have done this from the start of this year, and then I joined that group on the 1st or on January, and I never picked up the first book. So I think I am gonna do this one. I think because we got a reread that I'm just gonna do 6 prompts instead of just 5, because why not? Read any book from a series. All right, well, we're continuing a series, I guess. Or starting a series. I was gonna do Stoner's Crossing, which is book number 2 in a trilogy. It's called The Legacy, Texas Legacy, I think it's called, and it's a Christian fiction by Judith Pella. I loved Frontier Lady. That was, I think, my 5-star read last month, if not the month before, and I was gonna continue that, but I'll do a different Christian fiction. We're gonna hop into good old Colleen Cobble. This is Lonestar Secrets. I do believe this is the next book in the Lonestar series. I think Lonestar Legacy is what the last series was called, but this is called the Lonestar series. And I have been excited to finish this. I read book 1 in 2020 or 2021 because I was pregnant with our son. This is what started my Colleen Cobble like obsession in a way. I've always thought about this book after reading it. Didn't know this book was a part of a series. I just found it at a Half Price Books. Read it finally after like 6 years of owning it. And then years later, I was starting to think about this book for some reason. It was really weird because I just kept thinking about it and how much I loved it, and I wanted to learn more about it. Found out it was part of a series, and then I stumbled across some other books from this author from a whole different series of hers, and that reinvested me into her books. And so then I went out for my birthday and I got book number 2 in the series, and I already know I'm gonna love this book. I could technically reread this book. I should probably put that as my reread. That's okay. I might kind of do like a little refresher of this book and then go into this book because it's been 6 years since I've read this book. For my 6th and final prompt, I take it back. I don't want this prompt. We should just did 5 because I was happy with 5. A book over 500 pages. You know, I don't know what book that would be because I don't have many books. Actually, I might know. And I think this book is over 500 and I would love to read this book. Please be over 500 pages. 691. And it's floppy. It is Game of Thrones. I have read 250 pages of this, but in like a mass market paperback edition. And I eventually, I think it was book number 2, I found at a Goodwill in this size. So then I was like, I have to get all of these books in this size because 1, it's huge. I love big paperbacks. That's why I love the Ember and the Ashes series. And then 2, it's super floppy, like perfect. I don't even have to crack my spines. I mean, if you haven't noticed, I crack my spines a lot, and especially like hardbacks. Plus, I've been thinking about hopping into this anyways. I just knew that it was a lot thicker. I didn't know when I would actually have time. I knew I wanted to maybe do like reading vlogs on each of these books. This series is not complete, and I already know about 250 pages of this book, and what I read about it I really loved. But I can't remember what we were doing. I think we might have been moving into our Kentucky house at the time, or like I was just in like a rut in a way, and I just couldn't do that book, so I did put it down and I wanted to redo because I thought it was the perfect book to move because it was such a chunkier book. But I think I could fly through this. Well, maybe not fly, but I think this book would be like a good book to actually pick up and read. These are the 6 potential books that I will be reading or trying to read in the month of August, and I'm so happy I have so many series that I could continue because I've been thinking, like I said, about making that video, and some of these have been calling my name. These 2 in specific have definitely been calling my name, and this one has been another one that's been calling my name. So I'm super excited about this month, and I can't wait to see which books that I actually read and to do my wrap up to see if I absolutely loved every single one of these books. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you're curious about any other book related video here on my channel or any other future videos that I might be having revolving around books, be sure to subscribe. Keep up with my YouTube channel. I try and post every single Sunday, if not also Sunday and Wednesday. Sometimes when I'm a little busy, I might just do once a week. I feel like now that we're out of the camper and we're in a house, videos should be getting back to normal, and maybe even some travel videos, photography videos will be on its way. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope to see you in another video here on my channel, and as always, God bless.